So for me, I think that peace is not passive. For me, peace can be painful. For me, it's mostly positive. So this opportunity to speak about it brings me back to the Middle East, brings me back to Israel. So again, my name is Jerry White, and I'm the Executive Director of the United Religions Initiative, which is the largest grassroots interfaith organization in the world, with a presence in over 110 countries. And we promote peace and justice and healing for the earth and for all living beings. That's for all of us here, and the trees and the planet. But I think back 40 years ago when I was 20 years old, I went hiking, innocent in nature, in Israel, in the Holy Land. And very unsuspecting, I went camping in an unmarked minefield. Landmines buried all around me. There were no signs. There was no fence to keep me out. And on a beautiful sunny day, not unlike today, boom! I stepped on a landmine and it ripped off my right leg. How did this happen? Landmines during a time of peace? This was in the Golan Heights, and the landmines were left there from the 1967 war, when I was only 4 years old. So sometimes the pockets of evil and the seeds of destruction have been planted many years before we step on them. So I spent 6 months in a hospital. I lived. I learned to walk again. For me, it's peaceful to have a prosthetic leg, to have people who helped carry me out of a minefield, to have nurses and doctors to help me heal. That's peace for me. And now we see so much pain, unfathomable, unconscionable pain. And I think back to those days in Israel, in the hospital for 6 months, when people said, Jerry, you must sue, you must take action, you must be so angry. You're just a Christian boy. You grew up in Boston, and now you've been hurt by gross negligence. It was the Russians, the Soviets who made the landmines. It was the Syrians who bought them and laid them in a minefield in the Golan Heights. It was the Israelis who occupied them. It was the local communities and police that didn't properly mark or fence them off. Until 16 years later, I step on one. Who should I sue? What does my conscience tell me? I feel conscience is a mystery of like a Holy Spirit inside me, or in all of us, that gives us that compass. Should I take revenge and hurt because it's painful and I'm tempted? Or should I let go and own my pain and say no more? That the violence will stop with me, an innocent survivor. So my invitation is to think about that. I wasn't passive because my conscience then beckoned me. That the best justice and healing would be to prevent other people from getting blown up all around the world. The best justice would be that. Not that I get my leg back. It's not coming back. So we learn 5 things to build a path to peace that are very specific from interviewing tens of thousands of war victims around the world. How do all and each of us get in shape for peace, listen to our conscience, and act centered in love, peace, and conscience. Your conscience is like that little voice saying, come on, do the right thing. So when I heard later in life that there were up to 80 million landmines buried in over 80 countries, and 80% of the victims were civilians, children, women, farmers, grandparents, refugees, dumb tourists like me, my conscience says, do something to prevent other people from feeling that pain. And so we organized an international campaign to ban landmines in the 1990s. And we came together with groups like you, faith actors, people of conscience, human rights leaders, veterans of wars, the faithful, the secular, and created a coalition of over 1,200 organizations in over 120 countries that says this is not business as usual. Enough. We will call on all true leaders of conscience to ban landmines and later to ban cluster munitions. And one of our partners, Jane Olson, is in the room today, was the chair of Human Rights Watch, another leader in the campaign to ban landmines that shared in the Nobel Prize in 1997. And prizes don't matter. Your conscience says, whatever, that was nice. Now let's get back to work. We have landmines to destroy in stockpiles. We have landmines to get out of the ground, to liberate nature. We have innocent people to put legs on. So the work of conscience, love, and peace is active, not passive. It is positive and constructive. It is an invitation to wholeness, salam, shalom. It's full, it's balanced, and it can feel painful because we lose so much when we listen to conscience, but we gain all and oneness. So I'll just stop there and say, I think that's the invitation for me. I want to be a person of peace and love and conscience. I try. And that gets back to the earlier point of listening, hearing that still small voice that invites us to do the right thing again and again. Are we listening? Thank you so much.